The borrowed flame. By late afternoon, the house had begun to echo with Fathima's unease. It clung to the kitchen like steam that would not lift, settling into the folds of her dupatta, into the pot of Halim that refused, once again, to become what she longed for it to be. She stirred slowly, bangles brushing her wrist, the wooden ladle heavy with effort. The smell was promising, but promise, she had learned, could be deceptive. She tasted too mild. Yesterday it had scorched, the bottom burned into bitterness. The day before that, it had thinned into something uncertain, as though the dish itself had lost faith. Halim was not merely cooked, it was waited for, listened to, coaxed into softness. And today time seemed unwilling to sit with her. Her son was coming home. 5 years abroad. 5 years of borrowed winters, solitary meals, and a life that had grown beyond her daily reach. She had washed the curtains, beaten dust from old mattresses, aired his childhood room until it smelled of sun and soap. She had even ironed his old kurtas, though she knew he would return carrying the weight of another world. All she wanted was to feed him well. Fathima turned off the stove and sat near the window, pressing the edge of her dupatta to her eyes. Outside, the lane lived on. A fish seller calling out prices. A pressure cooker hissing. Children dragging chalk across concrete. The evening azan floated in, calm and forgiving. "What else can I do?" she whispered. The answer came quietly, in the form of a door next door. She gathered herself and stepped out, pride folded neatly away. Tasneem's kitchen door was ajar. Inside, the air smelled of roasted bisan and worry. A steel plate lay before Tasneem, dotted with laddus that refused to hold their shape, some too crumbly, others slick with excess ghee. 2 small children hovered nearby, watching with hopeful impatience. Tasneem looked up, flustered. "They keep breaking," she said, almost apologetically. "The children are waiting." Something softened in Fathima then. This too was a kind of distress. "I came to ask for help," Fathima admitted. "With Halim." Tasneem laughed softly, relief and embarrassment tangled together. "And I was wondering who I could ask about laddus." They looked at each other for a moment, 2 women standing in kitchens full of undone things, and then smiled. They decided without ceremony. Tasneem adjusted the flame under Fathima's pot, showing her when to stir and when to let the lentils surrender on their own. How patience thickened flavor better than force. Fathima, in turn, sat on the floor and rolled laddus with steady palms, coaxing warmth and shape from the mixture, teaching Tasneem the small, unspoken signs of readiness. By dusk, both kitchens had settled into themselves. The Halim grew rich and deep, clinging gently to the ladle. The laddus stood in quiet rows, round and fragrant, the children already counting them with their eyes. When Fathima's son arrived later that night, tired but smiling, he ate in reverent silence. The first spoonful loosened something in his face, something that had traveled far and returned weary. Fathima watched, her chest easing at last. Before sleeping, she sent a plate of laddus next door. That night, Fathima understood what years of self-reliance had nearly taught her to forget. No one is complete alone. What one pair of hands cannot manage, another may know by heart. And asking for help is not an admission of failure, it is an invitation. Because somewhere nearby, someone else may be struggling with the very thing you do best.